Live, it's FSB Pro Cup, the Chase, the iconic Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a new track record, and of course, Jim Neighbors, but we did that last time, so, and of course, all the great racing here since the beginning of time, practically. And now we have that at FSB Racing. And we have the Pro Cup and the Chase and the points. And my partner, Greg Bernardo. What's up, Greg?
What's up, Milty? Glad to have you back for a Pro Cupper. Here at, like you said, the Mecca of Motorsports, Indianapolis. This is the original track as well, Milty. So a true tribute to the track and how difficult it is.
Well, you run an Indy car around here, which we're going to be doing that here real quick, the Indy 500 at FSB Racing, and you're flat out, boy. But in this car, you got a 3,500 pound car. You got to take that thing in the corner there and get out the gas, and then you get back on the gas. So it's a battle. Battle coming out of pit road. The battle saving tires. This is a cheese grinder.
Yeah, it's going to be, Milty. And with that said, Milty, this is the second chase of the race, or chase race. And let's take a quick look at the points here, Milty, as they come up on your screen. As they come up on your screen there, Milty, you see that big Matt Watkins is really putting a hurting on the field with 8 poles, 7 wins. Easily outdistancing himself from the rest of the competition, which is scrambling to cut into a very big 17-point lead, Milty.
Yeah, let's be frank here. These guys need bad things to happen to South Carolina's Matt Watkins.
Yeah,
and we don't wish that for sure, but they need a break here because he is just on a roll. And when he's like this, all the competitors are here. They're going to give it their best shot, but right now he's owning them.
Yeah, he's really he racked up a lot of bonus points in the regular season, Milty, and drove a great race last week, and now he's really rewarded here with a big 17-point lead over Robert and Derby Don. But as you see, Milty, though, as well, the points are pretty tight. Just 8 points separating Robert in second to Ryan Tracy in sixth. So there's a lot to race for still for these guys.
Yeah, we see this is one of the smallest fields we've seen all season. So the chase is, it is. So, but what that does is also, kind of squeeze in the points. So,
right, top 5 is a must almost for these front runners if they're going to have anything to do with Matt Watkins, who, when we quickly look here at the qualifying order, Milty, with just about 15 seconds remaining in happy hour, Mark DeSenza and Matt Watkins outside pole for Matt Watkins, so he's not taking his 17-point lead lying down by any means. And you see the rest of the guys there, Sean, Guy, and Robert round out the top 5. And so these guys are going to have their hands full. They want to keep Matt behind them, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, Milty. He's on a roll, like you said.
Yeah, my teammate there, Rick Johnson, man, does he need a good result. He is just, he's, the pooch there, and it's just really sucks for him here. But this season isn't over. 5 races is a lot of action left, and a lot of stuff can happen, and so I wouldn't count the 52 out there.
No, not at all. Rick has had a very tough season, and to make the chase with the season that he had a couple ups, but he had a lot of just real frustrating finishes where he didn't really have much to do with the result. and those are always the most frustrating finishes. But he persevered, and he's in the chase. He jumped up 5 positions, Milty, in that first chase race. So that's got to give him some confidence going into Indy here.
Yeah, and then my other teammate there, Derby Dawn, 17 behind. That's definitely FSB's really represented.
Yes, they are.
Just these two guys, giving these other super teams a run for their money.
Yeah, it's a great battle there, and of course, let's not forget who Matt Watkins is representing, Milty, and that's Monsoon Motorsports, the original dynasty of FSB.
Well, it's original from about 3-4 years ago, but there's been a couple other ones in 11 years. But yeah, they are the standard bearer, the benchmark, and of course you got Boca Motorsports there. They got team stuff going on too, but we're going to focus on the Drivers' Championship more here.
Yeah, we have Sean Johnson there and Mark DeSenza, teammates. Matt Watkins, of course, Monsoon. And right behind him, Guy Petra. Good qualifying effort there by Guy Petra, Milty.
Yeah, and Guy's got a chance at the podium in the points. Quite a ways off. Probably more realistically a top 5 in the points, but that would be great for him. And maybe he won't have to sweep the shop up anymore at Monsoon.
Yeah, we'll see. So kind of teammates stacked up with teammates here at the top there, and then right behind Guy there we see your pal Rick Johnson.
Well, and I watched a documentary. I can't even explain it, but watching AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti, and Bobby Unser sit in chairs by turn 1. Going into turn 1 here as we're getting ready to go green is the most scariest thing in sim racing or real racing.
Yeah, and then we see the pace car down pit road, and here we go, Milty.
It's going to be too wide, so the outside car's really loose with cold tires. The inside car's got to get off it early enough, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully everyone gets through turns 1 and 2, and let's say 1 and 2A coming up in this little short shoot, and then another turn, and now they're onto the backstretch, and racing can begin. Milty and Mark DeSenza doing what he has to do, and as does Matt Watkins, who joins him right at the front there.
Rick Johnson executes a pass on Robert. Of course, it's early, but he does it just the way we talk about. At Indianapolis, it's kind of a square, so you talk about the turn 2 rule when you can pass, and that's not in the short shoot. It's doing just what Rick did. He did the over-under, and then once he got on the straightaway, made the pass.
Yeah, and as we were just flipping their cars, Ryan Tracy looked like he got up a little high, Milty. May have brushed the wall briefly. It sent the cars behind him, Dave Jandry and Derby Don, scrambling momentarily, but it looks like everyone is sorted themselves out here, and we go kind of single file racing real quickly.
This is kind of like an all-star race because all these guys are, of course, there's 15 cars out here, but, all 10 of the chasers are in here. So, or how many chasers are there?
Yeah, there's 10.
10? Okay.
10, yes. Yes,
Tracy there getting high like that is something that happens to me a lot of times on this track early, because the last thing you want to do is challenge that inside curb and hit that bad boy, and your day could be over. You want to sort the car out and set in. He's looking to, he needs to pull one off here, but he's solid like 6th, 7th in the points, I think. Brian Tracy.
Yeah, he's doing very good there, but yeah, Milty, you don't want to use up your car so early in this race. Aerodynamics are very important here at Indianapolis, Milty. The draft is key to keeping up with the lead pack and or getting up to the next pack. Meaning if you guys are in a 4-car pack, you can catch a 2-car pack ahead of you. So there's a lot of reasons you want to keep your car clean, and if you bang that wall one too many times, you're going to regret it.
Yeah, it's draft dependent and clean fender dependent here, and tire dependent. You know what used to get it done back in my day, in the early days of FSB, don't get it done anymore. Because I mean, I go out here against these guys, and I'm lucky if I can even run in the top 10. Competition level is intense.
Yeah, and speaking of competition, looks like the 5 of Sean Johnson there, Milty, is right on the back bumper of Matt Watkins. And I think he wants to get by Matt Watkins, and he wants to join his teammate to, hook up there and maybe see what they can do together. But Matt Watkins having none of it right now.
Yeah, Indy's kind of one of those tracks where you can defend as long as you don't make any mistakes. And draft's so dependent when a car tries to pull out on the straightaways. Get these long straightaways, 2.5-mile track, originally done in brick. That's why they call it the Brickyard.
Yeah, and there we can appreciate some of that long straightaway, Milty, and see Matt and Sean and Guy Petra now joining to make it a trio of cars, and there's a 2 against 1 now, Milty.
PG had a great run, podium finish. Was that Friday night and he's looking to capitalize and get another good run tonight.
There we see our leader, Mark DeSenz, is continuing to have a nice little, just a little cushion there, back to second place Matt Watkins, and third place Sean Johnson, right on Matt's bumper, still not going anywhere. Guy now trying to rejoin. He looks like those guys are running a pretty good pace. Matt Watkins usually likes to conserve, Milty. His MO on tracks such as these, where with a short field, I'm sure he's thinking 0 cautions, is tires and fuel. So he's a master at that, Milty.
Yeah, look at him challenge that. Now the tires are warm. They're taking it right down to that line. You don't want to hit that bumpy stuff next to it there. That's no bueno. But you can take it right down to there and even just brush up against it, especially as the car gets tighter. Because these guys are going to be fighting aero tight behind other cars.
Yeah, they
just have to stay out of the gas longer than the leader does.
Absolutely, Milty, especially when you're getting right behind the guy and the tires are a little worn. As you turn in to these turns at really high speed coming down the straightaways, Milty, the car just wants to continue to keep going straight. So your lift point, your braking point really has to change as your run goes by. And like you said, dipping that tire down maybe right below the line and right above the curbing, you can get the car to give you a little more rotation as the run goes on. You'll see those guys doing it, such as Matt Watkins, as he did it right there.
Yeah, and this track is gas pedal dependent, which means that's how you drive the car. It's how you turn it. Different techniques on entry to the corner. Usually guys just kind of lay on the brake, hardly any brake at all. You don't see the noses of these cars dropping down because they're coming in that corner at 180 plus. So they're just riding the brake a little, but and getting off the gas, apexing the corner, getting back on in the short chutes, then getting off the gas again. And then it's all about the exit. It's that smoothness of poetry of motion there.
Yeah, and there we see some good battles going on here, Milty. Just a little back behind the leaders. Ryan Tracy and Dave Jandry and Derby Don really battling for some nice positions there. And everyone has really been holding station as far as positions are concerned. I think the guys realize with the short field, Milty, that this is going to be all about tires and fuel, and a lot of guys may have been gone into conservation mode immediately. And of course, we know another master of that is our our good friend in the 18 car, Robert Pokum.
Absolutely. And you can't do it by yourself here. So you got to have buddies. You got to have draft, you know. You got to be in position. This is one of the tracks where the old saying always is, put yourself in the position to win. That's all you can really do. And then, you know, one of the most daunting pit entrances in sim racing and real racing is Indianapolis. So, and we've seen Matt Watkins pull the wabbit out of his hat.
Yeah, he's
smoking them across the line in the L88 race too. Just really owning these guys, and these guys are pros, man. They're not chumps, man. And, they're executing. You know?
Yeah, and these guys also, you know, the other little wrinkle to that, Milty, is the rest of the guys know how good he is, so they sometimes put just a little extra pressure on themselves to maybe squeeze an extra mile here or an extra foot of distance, and we've seen guys overshoot pits and get black flags, and that, of course, hands it over to a guy like Matt Watkins.
Yeah, you got to expect him to, with the lead, he's going to race aggressive. He's going to challenge the pit road. He's going to race to win. It's just like as soon as you try to nurse it home to a win, that's when you drive it off or something, you know. But Matt's going to just try to execute, and you know, we're at lap 12 now.
Yeah, we see Ryan Tracy getting high there, Milty, and both Dave Jandry and Derby Don take advantage of that. And as we see right ahead of them, look like Robert Bokum making a move on Rick Johnson.
Well, we don't want Ryan to get high. It's bad for you, kids.
High in the turn, Milty. Come on, PG here. Yeah, Rick slipped up a little too.
Tire wear's becoming an issue now.
Absolutely, Milty, and the guys that have managed them are able to take advantage of it. Robert Bokum and Dave Jandry, and now Derby Don looking to the outside of Rick as well, Milty, and Ryan Tracy now trying to catch that draft and catch that position back that he lost. So a nice move by Dave Jandry making a move to the front, Milty.
Well, I seen Bokum has the nose on his car, even though he's not in that first pack.
Yeah, he's in a second pack. Guy Petra now, Milty, ahead of Robert, is kind of in the no man's land by himself. Between the leaders and that second pack led by Robert Bokum.
Well, just when we talked about tires, because I know this track really good, lap 12 is that out of nowhere, all of a sudden, go into that corner the same way he did last time, he don't want to turn.
And looks like we have a first taker of tires, Milty, in the 16 at Den Francisconi. Sconi.com Fusion.
Well, you know, we can add here, so 16 is the magic number. Well, sometimes we can add. So,
and it's also
they might
a case,
not make it.
Right, Milty, but it's also sometimes also a case for maybe some of these guys that you drive it a little too hard, and the tires on these original tracks, Milty, punish you, and you heat those tires up. You have to come in maybe a couple of laps earlier than you'd like to, and maybe that's the case with Den here. But he gets his 4 tires, and he'll be out and away.
Yeah, and this really isn't that big of a deal, you know, unless it goes completely green, which we've seen a lot of green flag racing here at FSB, especially in the Pro Cup. But you also got to, this is Indy, and these guys are getting really slick as snot out there right now.
Yeah, Milty, and while we were watching some great action in the field, there we see some guys making pit stops. Rick Johnson and Derby Don are in the pits, Milty.
The 52, the 151, they can't make it, which kind of.
And Derby Don with a great pit stop, Milty, and he's going to challenge Rick Johnson off pit road. And as long as no black flags, Derby Don actually picks up the position on pit lane, Milty. You got to like that.
Definitely, and they're right there in the team channel talking to each other, but at that point, it's just quiet and focusing. Now that once they get out on the track, they may say something, but these guys don't say too much. I'm usually the talker in the team channel. It's like, Melt, all right, do this. Great teammates.
Yeah, man. I mean, and again, Milty, like you said, you need a dance partner here. And teammates are the best dance partners you can have. So these two now will try to hook up and run max speed lap times right now with fresh tires and drafting. That's what you need to do. And there we see Robert Bokum, who has continued to stay out. Sean Johnson Milty in and out.
And so Matt Watkins came in, beautiful pit stop.
And there we see
about 65 coming in there a little bit, but got it wowed down quickly with those 16 lap tires, man. Wow.
And there we see Ken Ron in. There we see Dave Jandry, and there we see Matt Watkins finishing up his service, Milty, and he just got his right side tires, now left side tires going on, and away he goes, and with that nice tight starting position,
Here comes
Milty.
Robert Bokum.
And we should see Robert Bokum on pit lane. You're right, Milty.
There he is.
There we see Dave Jandry coming off, Ken Ron coming off pit lane as well. So,
boy, that's easy to do after you run a couple laps and then say, okay, I'm going to practice some pit stops, but run 17 of them and then come in like that and feather that brake and gas and get it in there hard. That's why these guys are champions, man.
Yeah, and there's one of them right there, Milty, the 18 of Robert Bokum, the leader in the exchange of leads here with the green flag stop.
What happened to the 53? I'm sorry to interrupt. Some accident. PG Reese is done. See if we can find that.
Yeah, Milty, I didn't.
Pace car is out.
Yeah, the caution. Caution is out, Milty. So TG must have had a spot of problems. Let's look back, Milty, because that was a shock to me.
Yeah, it just all of a sudden came up on the screen. So we're fast as we can get this information. We got cars coming through. We got some issues with cars trying to move up and see where they're at because they weren't quite recycled. And Robert Bokum passes the pace car. I think he's trying to get his lap back.
Oh, and there we see the Ken Ron. Oh my, Milty! Holy mackerel! What a hit!
They're all typing each other's numbers in the chat window, so I think what they're having a problem with is lining up right now, because what happens is when you have green flag stops and then you have a caution right as guys are trying to get back in line, some guys can be scored a lap down and lose a lap, and plus when the pace car came out and when they catch it, they got to get lined up.
Yeah, Milty, so let's take a quick look back at this incident. What happened, actually, Milty, is Ken Ron, as he tried to come back up to speed, got out of shape on the access road, Milty, and if you're seeing it there, let's watch what happens.
I'm watching it right now.
Let's watch what happens, Milty. He gets loose, slides up, and then Zonga, big hit by TG, who had nowhere to go.
Yeah, I'm like 3 seconds behind, so...
just a huge hit.
Oh, man. Oh, right up in the... Oh, Jiminy Christmas. That was a head-on... That was a nose breaker right there.
It sure was. So those guys, I'm sure both of those
you
guys are
can't
out of the race
T-bone
now,
anybody
Milty.
better than that.
So yeah, an unfortunate circumstance
Oh
for
man.
TG, who I believe led a lap during that exchange, Milty. So bad luck there.
He was in the lead, and it said first place and accident on the computer results. Wow, that's what caught my eye. I was like, holy cow! So these guys have been out a couple laps.
Yeah, let's see what happens, Milty, here as they
If I've
continue.
been
I
out a
think
couple laps, I might just go get 4 right now. I don't care. This place, you can wear your tires out at Indy under caution. Tires. It's all about tires.
Well, Milty, we have, I think, an odd situation now with, like you said, guys being caught out. So let's see when they cross the line here what kind of sort out happens. Because right now it looks kind of bad for the field and good for Robert Bochum.
Yeah, and the 15's ahead of them. They're like at the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, it's confusing still to some of these guys. Some guys are going down pit lane, it looks like now, Milty.
Well, he pitted the latest, but you know what he's thinking right now, man? We got a long way to go. I'm going to get me 4 freshies and heck with track position. I can go longer than these guys, and if we do this again, I'll just get right back out in front. It's
that's what I was afraid of, Milty.
Your tires are
basically done, Robert Bochum has lapped the entire field, Milty.
Oh, no way.
Everyone will be basically starting on the tail end of the lead lap, and Robert Bochum will be starting behind everyone else. So basically, the guy right in front of Robert Bochum will be the last guy on the lead lap, Milty.
Well,
which will be the 5 of Sean Johnson. So this is a bizarre circumstance, Milty.
Through all the chaos, remember when I was, there was a lot of things going on, but I was saying, Bochum's passing the pace car and everybody else is behind it. I thought he was getting his lap back, but he must have crossed the start-finish line a lap ahead of everybody else when the caution came out before they got a chance to get back ahead of him and get their lap back.
Yeah, we can see what the race, what the official race scoring in the corner of your screen, Milty, is showing. The 83 car is the second place car. Of course, now we see the 83 car is the first car behind the pace car. But
the big cactus.
Yeah, the big cactus now showing in second place. So great job by Steve Webb, Matt Watkins. So all these guys are basically going to need a caution now, or Robert Bochum can basically just sit in the back and cruise to a victory, Milty.
Well, that's what he needed, and he needed Matt to have bad luck.
Well, I mean, Matt Watkins still third in the running order, though, so points-wise, not a big help for Robert Bochum. Of course, he gets the win and the bonus points for the win, which is crucial as well. However, Milty, if we don't see a caution, these guys can pick up the distance. We're going to have to see green flag stops, hopefully separate the field, and that's where Matt Watkins would probably hope to gain some ground as well, but we'll see. With only basically 43 laps remaining on this, it's a shorter race, not really distance-wise it's not, but just lap-wise it is, because it is a 2.5 mile track, Milty.
Man, but when you're a lap down, I mean, and there's no lucky dogs, Robert's definitely in control of this race.
Yeah, Milty. Let's go back looking through the field. There we see the 18 of Robert Bochum, and he's basically behind everyone on the lead lap, and the last car showing on the lead lap, according to the official scoring, Milty, is the 5 of Sean Johnson. So, and that's a teammate, of course. So let's see if Robert is just going to say, I'm just going to draft with these back guys, and whatever happens, happens. I'm just want to stay out of trouble and not wreck the car.
Well, talking to his teammates, we know that Robert right now is talking, strategizing, and and they're all working together. They really like working together at Team Bochum, and they all have a great time with it. And that's what beauty of the team channels. You can get a little risque in there, and nobody hears. You can just talk and battle and fight and root each other on. So they're definitely gonna. They've sized this situation up just like you did, Greg.
Yeah, so now we see the lights are off now on the pace car, Milty, so we're getting ready to go back. The lead
Long way to go.
pack of cars is now, for our viewers, is not the first place car. The first place car is the 18 of Robert Bochum. The 83 of Steve Weber is the second place car, and third place is so on. And just a quirk of how that caution came out, and so the second place car will lead us off, Milty, not the first place car.
Yeah, and that was not the case which is one of the beauties of these original tracks. That was not a case of the game making a mistake, which it doesn't make very many. And this was straight up how guys ended up. This is going to change everything. This is more than a wrench. This is more than a monkey wrench. This is a friggin' torque wrench thrown in the middle of this thing.
Yeah, it's really a curveball thrown to the field, and you can see they scatter at the front. As it looked like Webb maybe got a little loose, and Matt Watkins cut the wheel hard to get underneath him, and he's successful, and he takes Mark DeCenza with him as well. So Matt Watkins now into second, Mark DeCenza third, Webb back to fourth. Guy Petra challenging now Webb for that fourth position.
Well, these guys are racing for runner-up right now, and they also know that anything can happen, especially with Bochum in the back. With the farther you're back in the beehive, the buzzier it gets, man.
Yeah, and there we see our leader, Robert Bochum, tucked
Bob
in there behind Michael Scott, just
pace.
content to log laps at this point. It looks like as he enjoys about a 50-second lead, Milty.
Pops Markinson's on the inside infield. Don't know what's up with the Scotch Blue Full Throttle Racing car. The veteran, the man, Pops.
Yeah, he
getting back on track right now.
Yeah, it looked like he might have had some issues earlier. Milty was already a lap down, so maybe those problems are continuing for him. Handling's an issue here. If you can't keep the draft, you're gonna have a long day here at Indy. And,
absolutely.
We can see that Robert has kind of dropped off from the 46 car. So Robert very content to just drive around Indy for a little bit.
Yeah,
some racing right ahead of him though, Milty. Look at the racing right ahead of him.
Oh, these guys are content to all finish second. So. And there's Matt Watkins up there. There's the bait. See, let's go bite it.
You see Webb continuing to struggle. Possibly a 2-tire change got him up there, Milty, and now he's paying the price for admission there. As Derby Don gets by him, Rick Johnson now has get by him. Now Ryan Tracy challenging, and Dave Jandry. Derby Don moving up, trying to get to the back of Guy Petra. Who is trying to catch the lead group here, Milty, which is second and third, which is Matt Watkins and Mark DeCenza.
Yeah, great call there, Greg. Very possible. His car looks loose, man. And he's got Ryan Tracy wants a piece of him.
Yeah, you'd think there would be a lot of cooperation among these guys, knowing the circumstance they're in. They don't really want to get too racy and wreck each other and things like that, because that defeats the purpose of why you wanted a yellow to come out. You don't want to be that yellow, Milty.
Yeah, Indy's more of a track where you capitalize. You got a counter punch at Indy instead of throw the big right. You got a counter punch. Hang back and wait for a guy to make the mistake, and then because every every woo, woo, woo in your ear, that's your tires grinding, you know.
Yeah, and I think Guy just heard that, Milty, as he got extremely loose coming out of turn
That's a
2
bad
there. And
sound.
Derby Don and Rick Johnson now trying to take advantage of that. Rick going high. Tough way to pass here at Indy, Milty, but they sort themselves out. Guy holds off Rick Johnson for the time being.
Well, the thing about Rick Johnson is he's used to winning championships dirty. You know what I mean? He's not used to being that just super stud. That I mean, he's won championships racing against the best. You know, and he's put a whooping on me, and he just keeps coming all the time. Never gives up. Always has the right strategy, even when things go bad. He minimizes the damage. You know.
And there we see Mark DeSenza really sticking like glue onto the back bumper of Matt Watkins. But looks like Mark DeSenza has just blown up, and Derby Don hard into the wall, and just carnage here.
Matt hit him. I don't know how bad a contact that was, but the 15 did run into 6.
That's just a terrible break for the 6 car. But a good break for the rest of those guys who will gain that time back, Milty. However, it comes at the expense of Derby Don and Mark DeSenza. Poor Derby Don, Milty.
Well, and DeSenza, I mean, how many times we see him on the pole, and every time we broadcast, there's the 6, and he's on the pole. He puts his car in a position to win, like we talk about. But, you know, these cars are going, up to $9,000 every lap, down both those long straightaways, really hard on motors. And
yeah, Milty, and let's take a look back at it here from Derby's car here. You can see he was really on the move. He got by Guy Petra and Rick Johnson earlier, and now he's really closing in on the top 2. And I think DeSenza's car just lets go. Derby had nowhere to go. Hard into the wall for Derby. He keeps it up there, though, like the pro he is, Milty. So no one else gets into him, but just extremely hard contact to the right side of the car by Derby Don. And I don't think the car will be the same.
You see the reaction time of Derby Don there? Wow. I'm just watching about 3 seconds behind. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Derby just saw that car going, and he drove himself in the wall. But that first reaction speed, hand speed of the 49 driver, it shows you why he's so good. And there's so many good guys here who just haven't had no luck, man.
And as we go back live, Milty, Derby's getting into the pits. He's still driving. No smoke coming from the engine compartment, Milty. But just a heavy contact on the right side. I just don't see how even the guys banging on it is going to make Derby a viable car.
Well, guess what? All these cars that were on the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, we got a race again. That's the other side of the coin here. Even I believe Derby made up that lap, Milty.
Yeah, if you passed the 18, you made the lap if you were behind them before that restart.
Yeah, and let's take in a quick look at the official running order, Milty.
Because they were all on the tail end.
Yeah, we see that now. Matt Watkins is second place and officially around, as is the top 10, all the way to Derby Don in 10th. So everyone was successful in getting around the 18 and keeping in front of the 18 there, Milty. It looked like Robert may have slowed down a little to help him out there, which is a typical FSB move.
Yeah, and he knows they were on the tail end of the lead lap, and the precautions breed cautions, and he had to think. We've had a lot of green flag racing, but this race just seems like the intensity level in the chase here is because they're really pushing the cars.
Yeah, so I believe once everyone gets out of the pits that wanted to pit, Milty. We're going to see a traditional style field now with Robert Bokum leading the field.
Yeah, and the great Matt Watkins behind him.
Yeah, and of course we have watched them, Milty, from our first broadcast to this broadcast. We have watched those two just exchange wins, exchange the lead, do about everything two guys that are dominant like they are do. And for Pro Cup, at least, you have to say that Matt Watkins has gotten the better of Robert Bokum. Unfortunately for Robert, Matt has just chosen to focus on Wednesday night runs here and not run a bunch of different series. But the other series that
that's bad news for the Bears.
Yeah, but what the other flip side is that in the other series that Robert runs, he is head and shoulders above everyone else. He's killing everyone in the late model series. He's won races in the super speedway series. He's winning the chicken. He's killing everyone in the chicken run. Aero 88. So I'm running out of series that FSB runs, and I'm running out of Robert Bokum first place in the standings either, Milty. So just a testament to Matt Watkins' driving skills in this Pro Cup, Milty.
Well, we interviewed him, and he was real modest early in the season, and he gave credit to the great Damien Godzilla, and how great a driver he was. But I think Matt Watkins right now is on top of his game, and probably, if Damien, you're out there, I know you're doing a lot of engineering stuff, but when I come back to FSB, I think Matt's got something for you. Along with these other guys.
Yeah, that would be awesome to see him back, Milty. I do also remember him from my early days here at FSB, and it was a thrill to see him wheel a car around any track.
Yeah, and he did the Gran Turismo thing where the top 16 in the world go to the drive an actual real car, and the guy that won that ended up driving an LMP2 car at Le Mans, and he's really good, and I can't remember his name, but Damien was one spot. He was like 17th. He missed it by one spot, so that tells you, level of competition here, and these guys are every bit that good, So getting back to a couple stories here, once again, the 151s, another solid race. Not being in the car a lot this year and watching, last year I think the most improved driver was probably the 83, in Pro Cup. Maybe the year before the 17. This year I'd have to say it's the 151, man. Guy Petra.
Yeah, Guy Petra's having a great Pro Cup season, and so far so good. He's right where you need to be, Milty. Like you said, you want to stay in contention at the front. You don't want to fall back and say, well, I'll make it up later, because that later may never come. So he's doing what he needs to do. He's staying in touch with the leaders. He took advantage of the caution there to get that time back to Robert Bokum, and now he's ready to go. He's got Rick Johnson right behind him. He earned that,
man, definitely.
And he's got his teammate right in front of him, so he's feeling good about that, Milty.
There's a bunch of cars back on the lead lap here, but whether or not they can keep the pace, Yeah,
it looks like and the entire field was able to get back to laps except Pops, who was already a lap down at the time of the incident. So all the way to Derby Don back in 11th, Milty. He's been in the pits several times. He's given his crew a workout tonight, Milty. But let's see if Derby Don can come back and be that will be something to see. But right now, Robert Bokum leads him into one as the leader.
Well, you ever watch hockey? Derby's a Canadian, man. They're tough. They ain't gonna give up. Gonna fight to the end, man.
Oh, no doubt about that. If that car can stay with these guys, he'll stay with them. Matt Watkins, though, looking to have none of Robert Bokum leading this race, Milty, and he powers by him into the turn.
Cold tire moves. If anything, like you were talking about, the difference between Watkins and the 18 this season, I'd have to say is first lap. And the 52 is taking a look down low.
Yeah, Rick Johnson
is tired of being, cruising. He's going to go for it. Heck with it.
Yeah, and Rick's got the preferred spot as they enter the turn, Milty, and Guy has to give ground, and now there's guys coming up behind Guy as well.
Well, we've talked good about Rick, and then we've seen him self-spin or get caught up in bad wrecks, and hate to jinx him, but yeah, we could see a vintage 52 run here, because I'm always telling you fans, what this guy's capable of, and he's really a stud, man. He just was just one of those years. That's racing, 4-time champion, so, I don't think he's going anywhere.
No, and you know what, Milty? In just watching this whole season now, and getting to know how these guys drive and what they've gone through to get to where they are right now, I think Rick's a little tired of the same guys winning. I think he's tired of Matt Watkins winning, and I think he's tired of Robert Bokum winning, and I think he wants to win a race. And I think he's felt that he might have had a car to win several times this year, and he hasn't been able to do it. And I think maybe, he's looking at this race right now and saying, this is an opportunity for me to take one of those wins.
Yeah, we won like the first 4 races of the season. I won Daytona, the Derby won like 2, and I think Rick got one, and then Team FSB is just, hit the drought, baby.
Yeah, and Dave Jandry now taking a look on the inside of Guy Petra there, Milty.
Guys in a bad spot now. These guys are going to attack him right now. He's screwed.
Yeah, Rick's made a couple of excursions right to the back bumper of Robert Bokum. Really hasn't made any move to get by him. He's gotten right up on him, though. I think he's letting him know, hey, Robert, I'm here, and, I might be just a little faster than you.
Yeah, well, as you go up the food chain, in a race, and that no disrespect to any drivers or where they're at, but, as the race has a food chain, and who's running the best at that particular track, as you go up the food chain, it gets harder and harder to pass, You got to rethink, okay, now I got to settle back in and try to save tires again. And cool them down a little bit. Rick Johnson's the consummate pro, just like Robert Bokum. They're monitoring, they're doing a lot, man. They're driving, looking at their apex points, and Rick Johnson drives cockpit like me, man. And and he's also looking at his F2 screen. He's looking at his tires, seeing his tire temp. Wants to get those suckers down the low 200s,
Yeah, you got to keep
that left rear, right rear. Excuse me.
You got to keep those tires in check. You can't let them bleed up into the 220, 230 zone, because that's when they start just grinding away on you, and you're gonna pay the price.
Probably Indy, the pace they're running really hard.
Yeah,
they're probably 210, 215. They get up much higher than that. Gonna get jiggy here.
Yeah, we can see someone who doesn't seem like too concerned with the tire, Dave Jandry, flying up through the field now. He's up to 4th place, Milty. Great run so far by Dave Jandry. Sean Johnson right behind him. Sean's been another one of those guys, Milty, that we've talked about that just can't seem to close a deal. He's led laps. He's been at the front. He looks good, and all of a sudden we're like, where's Sean? And we see him like in the wall or spun around. So let's see if the Johnson and Johnson boys can keep it together for the entire race.
Yeah, absolutely. Number one, that's a tell to how great the competition is, and number two, it's a tribute to the execution of the guys up front.
And the guys up front are Matt Watkins and Robert Bokum right now. Matt Watkins 1, Robert Bokum 2, Rick Johnson 3, Dave Jandry 4. But Dave is really racy, Milty. And again, this is a place where, some of these guys might feel that they have one place to really maybe make a difference and get that elusive Pro Cup win, Milty, which is not easy to do at any track. And if you're feeling good and the car's handling good, you can't lay back. You got to go.
Yeah, and this is like a Pocono or Daytona. This thing can get long, especially with all these caution laps and stuff. You gotta re-energize and refocus, and it's amazing, especially a challenging track like this, how you can have it before and then not have it. Oh, we had a car smack the wall in the back there.
Yeah, it looked like Den got a little loose there, Milty, but I think it's okay. But Sean Johnson and Dave Jandry really got tight for a second there. It looks like they've sorted themselves out, and again, Dave really driving the car hard, and he's right on the back bumper of Rick Johnson. Caution is out, though, Milty. I think Derby Don might have had some more problems, Milty.
Yeah, that was such a hard lick in the last wreck that...
yeah, let's take a look back here, Milty. I think Derby...
It looks like his Derby car.
Yeah.
He's a real Derby racer, by the way, folks.
And Derby was at the back of the pack, Milty, and he was in the draft and looking pretty good here. In fact, he was right on the back bumper of Steve Weber. So he was looking good, Milty, from that hard hit that he took once already. Oh, and we see what happened, Milty. Steve Weber got loose right in front of Derby. Derby had nowhere to go, got into the back of Webb, and then into the wall, and more wreckage for the Derby car, Milty. Webb just got a tick loose in front of him, Milty, and had to chase the car. Got off the gas. Derby nowhere to go. Who was just glued to his back bumper.
The leaders are all in. Rick Johnson eases in. He loses about 0.2 of a second there, trying to get in his stall. He was a little tentative there. Bokum just slides right in. So does the 15. Jandry's off. He gets by Rick Johnson.
And Sean Johnson.
And Sean.
Wow, Dave Jandry with a...
Yeah, Rick Johnson's the loser there.
Yeah, Rick Johnson.
Just that little.
That's all it takes here in Pro Cup, Milty. You know that.
And yeah, I mean, I did that several times. Even in the road course race where I was battling Bokum for like fourth when we broadcast that from in-car, and just that you don't want to slide through, man. You don't want to throw it all away. So. And right now, these guys, the 18, you seen the 5, got to be in the zone to just, I mean, nice big pits here. So it's not like, Bristol or something like that. So
yeah.
But still,
this is a no excuses kind of pit lane, especially under caution, Milty. You really got to hit your marks under caution, especially coming out of 4. With green flag stops. Yeah, like you said, it could be a little hairy. In the stock car, not as hairy as with the Indy car, but
Yeah.
still, you can get overzealous and slide it right through the timing line. And if you're sliding through at too fast a speed, you'll still get zinged.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have this little break here. I'll be right back. Sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers.
There we see Pops, our lap down car. What I'm interested in seeing is Derby Don a viable car anymore in this race? And I hope the answer is yes. We see that he's still stubbornly on the track with a bashed in right side, a bashed in back bumper. There you can see the back of Derby Don's car heavily damaged. That's going to affect it big time here. As you can see, he comes in getting some service in here. Tires going on Derby Don's car. There we see the other participant in that little incident there. Steve Weber got his service done. He's out in the way. Den out in the way. And there's Derby Don out in the way. It didn't look like a lot of work done on the car. Could have already had that done. Checking the official scoring as well here. We see that Derby Don is shown in 10th place. So he may have been able to stay on the lead lap here too, which is crucial, of course, to any kind of recovery. But man, the back of that car is ugly. No offense, Derby, of course. And there we see Derby joining the back of the field. So it's just a shame, man. I think Derby might have had a car to win tonight. Looking the way he was moving up and just looking real racy. He was able to make passes quickly when they presented themselves. But it's just a bit of bad luck for Derby there, and we'll see where he can salvage a finish. But as we move back up to the front of the field, we see everyone coming in. Lap 43 to 64. Again. Yeah, this is they might be looking to stretch this last run, Milty.
Well, we saw 17, so with Robert Bochum.
Yeah, there's 21, now 20 laps remaining. Milty, they'll take the green with like 18. So I think these guys are all thinking the same thing. They're going to start clutching and saving tires and not make another stop. Guy Petra, Rick Johnson, there we see the top-offs happening. Matt Watkins and Dave Jandry and all these guys topped off, Milty.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm kind of old school, but I think for this track and the way the cautions are going and 20 laps, I'm going to drive the heck out of it, and I'm going to expect another caution and try to get some track position if I could,
So
that's what Rick Johnson has.
And that's what Rick Johnson's thinking, Milty.
My teammate right there. I think we're going to get another one, and they're going to have to pit too. Let's get some clean air on the red box.
I'm interested to see how Rick does out front now, Milty. Yeah, he was clawing his way, just clawing his way back to those top two as the caution came out. And I think if it continued, I think he would have had something for him. But now everyone has fresh tires. We know what you just said before on the last restart. Matt Watkins right behind him, the master of restarts. So should be interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even when well, they're showing the 151, so he must have went in too with those other group of cars. So when it recycles back through the next lap and the pace car goes off, then it'll be a 15 behind him. So, and
I think guy
they got a couple tires that they got the same tires, except they've run under caution, which I jokingly said, you can wear them out under caution. The pace car is off.
Pace car's off. Green flag's out. Rick Johnson leads them down to turn 1. Milty, try to keep the cheerleading down to a minimum, please, as Rick leads them into turn 1.
Well, this guy is really, look at him. He's shot out like a cannon.
Well, he knew who was right behind him, Milty, and he matched the master of restarts with his own restart, and away he goes down the backstretch.
Well, 4-time champion, 20-some-odd Pro Cup wins, at least. I don't have the records right in front of me, but only second to, I think he's third to me and Damon Gottstilla. Well, overall Pro Cup wins. Matt Watkins, maybe Watkins.
I'm sure Matt Watkins and Robert Bokum might have something to say before that's all said and done.
They're going to destroy. Records are made to be broke, man.
But right now, Rick Johnson continuing to hold that slight lead over Matt Watkins, Robert Bokum, and now Sean Johnson battling side by side, and then their teammates there, so we'll keep that clean.
Well, I've been in this position where I've run years in Pro Cup without a win, and all of a sudden had a chance for a win. And I tell you what, your right foot my right foot was shaking at Daytona this year, the first race of the season, and I couldn't believe it. But this thing's a long way from over. But I don't know. I think Rick's a much calmer guy than me, and he's always the same, whether there's bad. Not a yell or scream or anything. He's always calm and very succinct on strategy at all times. So I think he can handle it.
Absolutely, and I think on the flip side, Milty, the guys that did that splash, like Matt Watkins, for instance, knows Rick did not do the splash. Does that matter to him?
Yeah, sure, but they're also looking at their F3 right now, and it's saying half a can, or that's the only difference of the advantage is if you can get a green flag run right now, and you can go from half a can. If Rick has to get a can, they got to get a half a can, and this thing stays green. It totally changes the dynamics. Then you get in the 2-tire. Syndrome area,
or maybe even no tires if it's just going to be a splash and you're just going to have to risk
it. Yeah, absolutely. If it's splash and half a can, absolutely.
And there we saw Dave Jandry get around Robert Bokum as well, Milty, as you were talking there. And Dave Jandry, again, as I said before, he's looking really good here.
DJ's got a strong car, man.
Absolutely, Milty. As does Guy Petro, who's really been pressuring Robert, too. He wanted to go with Dave Jandry, but Robert slammed the door on him. And now Guy's going to regroup and see if he can get another run on him. And these long straightaways, Milty, do allow you to do that.
Yeah, Guy has been under control all night, even when he got, sent to the, back 5-6 positions when he got on the outside there and they freight trained him. He really, that's pro driving right there.
Absolutely, Milty. You got to have a short memory and not worry about that. Rick Johnson continuing to see Matt Watkins, though, fill his mirror. And he knows Matt Watkins is not going to go away either. So he's just going to have to, like you said, Milty, this is where you drive not with your mirror, but you drive right out the steering and right out the front window. You hit your marks every lap here at Indy, and like you said, very difficult to pass if you hit your marks.
Well, finishing up Daytona, which is, it's hard to say because it depends where your skill set is. But I think this is a way more difficult track, and especially when you got. But Rick Johnson's this ain't his first rodeo, and You watch him come through the corner. Right now, he's focusing on his apex point. Once he gets out and hits the straightaway, he takes. When he's in the short shoot, he takes a glance in his mirror, goes back to his apex point, comes out. I mean, this guy always he knows where the 15 is. He's looking real comfortable. His car looks a little tighter than I was expecting or hoping. The little outside in on the corner there where Matt is kind of taking his line a little bit earlier, and even with the arrow push there, Matt just seems really smooth there right now.
And it also looks to me, Milty, keep an eye on Matt Watkins as he goes into the turns, Milty. I think he's punching in that clutch there to save a little fuel.
Well, 2.5 mile courses, like obviously under caution, they were clutching the heck out of it. But 2.5 mile courses give you those opportunities, but the skill to pull it off at Indy, just drop that clutch at the right time and be able to pick up the revs again and drop it after you've pushed it in without getting loose is a rare. I can. There's been tracks I've actually won a race at Homestead like that, but that was a track that was conducive to making it pretty easy. Just pop the clutch in, roll, and then pick it, give a little gas. But this track is different. It's much tighter. You pop that clutch too hard, you're going around.
Yeah, and I continue to look at Matt Watkins is clutching every turn. And then popping it back out and getting back on the gas and powering
crazy,
out of the
man.
turns, Milty. And I know he's doing it to save fuel, and he's doing a great job because he's sticking right with Rick John. It's not like he's, losing ground to the leaders as he's clutching. So he's got to be really satisfied with his effort as he knows Rick did not get that splash. And as the leader, you have to break that air, Milty. So maybe a little even harder on the fuel mileage.
In my estimation, he's got to clutch at least 4 laps. As Sean Johnson,
Sean Johnson inside of Matt Watkins, Milty, and this could throw a wrench into Matt Watkins' planning here as Sean powers by him, and Dave Jandry now knocking on the door.
I would not underestimate Matt's ability to save fuel, but 4 laps, in my estimation, which that's why I'm sitting here up in the booth with you. One of the reasons.
Yeah, and looking back through the field, Milty, I can tell the 51 and the 18 are also heavily clutching the cars into the turns here. So all these guys that did that splash are all now in full conservation mode. But with the pace,
here comes Sean Johnson down low.
There goes Sean again.
Huh?
Yeah, the Johnson & Johnson group.
Rick just let him by right there. He stabbed the brakes there. You see the nose of his car went down. He just tapped the brakes a little. Great car control. Just let him by.
Let's see if he can hold off Matt Watkins when Matt Watkins gets to the inside of him.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and Matt Watkins
he's going in
and Dave Jandry. We'll see here. He has some space behind Dave.
Dude. They think they can make it. That's definite. Rick Johnson just let them all by. He's like, no, you know what? I'm clutching now. What, did he wait too late? Was he clutching
Milty,
earlier?
without the splash, I don't know. I think if this stays green, Rick might be in trouble, Milty.
I thought I'd see another caution here. But,
we still might, Milty. We still might. Let's pick up the official running order here. We got we're inside of 10 laps.
Sean Johnson
inside of 10. Sean Johnson really powered his way. I guess he decided no more clutching, and he went. And Matt Watkins trying to go with him, as is Dave Jandry with a great run. Dave Jandry up to 3rd.
Can they make it? We saw Bochum 17. That was the last guy, man. Maybe 18, not 23, And
how about a shout out to the 46 car, Michael Scott, Milty, running in 6th place.
Michael's been around a lot of real racing, excuse me, and water for and big Chase Elliott fan, and he's always a competitor, and he's looking for a good finish.
The other thing that we're seeing here, Milty, as the laps wind down, is if the guys don't run out of fuel, Robert Bokum is really not in contention for a win right now. I think he's either fully committed to saying, I'm damn sure going to make it. I'm not going to risk it at all at the sake of a poor finish, because I just cannot believe any of these guys are going to make it the way they're racing.
Gosh, if I'm sitting up here, that's what I'm thinking, man.
Because he's sitting there in 7th place right now, Milty, and he's not going to be able to get around all these guys unless, of course, fuel rears its head on them. As
we look towards the front, we look at like running like a half a second off his fastest lap, so he's going. And look at these guys up front. Okay, now you look at Matt Watkins. You saw him clutch again there. I just saw him clutch. He's running over a second off his fastest lap. But he's got track position. He's right there with the draft.
Exactly.
He's working it. There he goes. He clutched again.
Exactly, Milty. As these laps are now winding down, Milty, 6 to go. Dave Jandry in 3rd, trying to see if he can figure out a way to get around Matt Watkins. And Matt Watkins figuring out a way to see if he can get by Sean Johnson without running out of gas here. As we see Robert Bokum getting on the inside of Rick Johnson, who's falling backwards, Milty, as either the tires or the fuel are going away from him, and he's just trying to make it to the finish now.
I think that Matt being behind the 5 right there, the 5's a sitting duck because he's pushing the air for those guys too. Henry's clutching too, but I think Henry was pushing to get up to P3, so now I don't know. They're all working it, so.
It looks like Matt Watkins, Milty, is doing what he does best, and that's getting in the inside of someone and making a pass. And right now it's a pass for the lead, and Matt Watkins has it.
Yeah, the 5 realizes where he's at now, fuel-wise. I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm just surmising here. I think that if they didn't think they could make it by now, they would have pit. So they've worked themselves into that fuel window. Absolutely amazing.
Well, obviously Matt Watkins not concerned with fuel anymore, Milty. It's go time for Matt Watkins. 4 laps to go here, and
1.3 seconds slower than his fastest lap, so he's still clutching. But he's just such a master at it that every time you got these long straightaways, so every time you can have that F3 right up there, and it's telling you half a can splash. It'll go half a can. It'll go to splash. It'll go to and he.
Sean got in a little loose there and kind of stacked up Dave Jandry, and that allows Michael Scott now to get on the inside. Michael Scott battling for 3rd place. Great run by Michael Scott here as the laps wind down, Milty. You gotta love a guy that really hasn't been up with the leaders, battling with the elite of FSB. DJ winning it, has several wins this season, and across several different series, and of course the great Robert Bokum right behind him. So a sandwich there with Michael Scott trying to get that top 3.
Well, they did a different strategy. Instead of clutching at the front, they went back behind and just stayed on the draft, and a lot of times easier. You seen the 5 struggle a little bit when he got loose there. I'm sure that was him popping the clutch. We talk about popping clutch with coming up on 2 to go, and that's like what the real guys do, but they don't do it with the clutch. Uh, well, they do it with the clutch at speed, but under caution, they just shut the car off,
Right, which
And
of course you're not able to do in this game. So got to do the
so
next
you
best
do it
thing,
with the
which is just
clutch.
pushing the clutch
Absolutely.
in, coasting around, and just easing it back out, and hoping that you don't blow a gear. And Matt Watkins doesn't need to worry about the gears. He's got it in fourth gear, and he's hammered down with 2 to go. Milty, do they have enough fuel? Do all these guys have enough fuel?
His confidence gives me confidence because he would not be driving like this if he didn't think he had enough.
Does Rick Johnson have enough fuel? Rick
It's so funny
Johnson,
how it works. Absolutely, yeah, it could be
and there's Dave Jandry getting on the inside of Sean Johnson, Milty. A battle for second, and there's Michael Scott got around Robert Bokum earlier, and now he's trying to get around, and now here comes Robert.
Come down low, 4 wide.
Yeah, Robert was able to time that very nicely as they stacked up slightly. He was able to keep the gas down, and he gets back around Michael Scott.
Absolute great move right there.
And Matt Watkins is driving off into the sunset as everyone battles around him.
Matt did it right from the start of that run. He topped off to, just like you said, Rick Johnson and who was behind him on the restart? Dave Jandry is also up there. I'm a little worried about the 51's fuel, but it looks like they're going to make it.
Yeah, they're on the white flag lap right now, Milty. Trying to keep an eye on everyone here, and it looks like everyone's running still.
Matt Watkins wins it.
And Matt Watkins brings it home. In fact, they all did.
Man.
But it looks like someone who didn't bring it home, Milty, the 52 of Rick Johnson. Ran out of gas.
Yeah, and I would have been right there with him because that was really the play that I would have made too. It was just what he did because of the track position and hoping for a caution, racing to win. And that's going to really hurt Rick in the points there. But you got to go for it, man. You got to go for it.
And Rick, as you can see, finished. He did not lose the lap, Milty, because of the depth of the track, the length of the track. But last car on the lead lap, 9th place. So Rick Johnson tried to do like he said. He put himself in the front. He played a strategy thinking that he needed one caution. Didn't get it, and finishes 9th instead, Milty. So roll the dice by Rick Johnson. Comes up snake eyes, roll the dice by Matt Watkins, and basically the rest of the lead lap cars all came in for a splash. Paid off for them. They did not run out of gas, and they did keep the fuel and the engine running, and were all able to finish. So great job of driving by basically the whole field. Job. They all clutched. They all saved the right amount of fuel, and they all made it to the finish, Milty.
Yeah, but the way Matt did it and drove it to the front too, clutching and managing traffic, passing, just was so easy. One wrong move right there, you just throw it away.
Yeah, and let's take a look quickly, Milty, at the official running order. Matt Watkins with his, I believe now, Milty, his 8th win of the season. Wow. So just an incredible season for Matt Watkins. Huge run by Dave Jandry.
He could beat Damian Gottstilla's record, I think. Well, no, wait. Well, there was a guy named Kevin Lewis there. I think he got like 20 out of 21. So,
well,
of course, that was Trans Am, but
And
Could be
Dave
a Pro Cup
Jandry brings it home in second with I believe his best finish of the year. I'm almost certain it is. Robert Bokum
fantastic run.
Sean Johnson fourth. Sean was racy up there for a while there, but just couldn't hold on. And just a great run by Michael Scott, Milty, bringing it home with a top 5.
Woo!
That's got to feel like almost a win for Michael, who's only shows up I think for Pro Cup, and that's it. And it's good to see him out there, and it's good to see him battling with the guys that are out there almost every night. So great job there. And Guy Petra 6th.
Absolutely.
Steve Webb 7th. Den brought it home in 8th on the lead lap. Den was down toward the back of the field and in danger for a couple of times there. I think the cautions were timely for him.
That was a great physical effort for him.
Absolutely. Indy is a long and arduous path.
Long-ass race.
Absolutely, Milty. Yeah, he brought it home in 8th on the lead lap, top 10 for Den. And, of course, we already talked about Rick's roll of the dice and snake eyes for Rick in 9th. And Pops persevered, going a lap down early, going a second lap down when that caution came out and trapped everyone. And just persevered, though, Milty, and was rewarded with a top 10 finish still. And the rest of the guys, unfortunately, did not finish, including my heart goes out to Derby Don, who had maybe a car to win,
Sometimes you're the hammer,
sometimes
sometimes you're the nail, and he got nailed.
Yeah, he did. Not his own doing, and unfortunately for Derby, 11th place finish, and another dip in the points, it looks like. And as for Mark DeSenza too, Milty, leading the race fast with the lead pack, and just had a motor blow up on him.
He's like Mario Andretti, man, you know. Especially at Indy, that's apropos, you know. Lead half the race, unchallenged. Nobody had nothing for him. A couple of bad, put him back a little, but he was still probably the strongest car out there. Whammo. Kablam.
All right, Milty. Well, another great race, another great performance by Matt Watkins, who's just been the story of Pro Cup, Milty, this season. That's his 8th win. He's just like you said. He's on his game. He's focused. Almost virtually mistake free. You don't
know. I mean, unless you drive what you know, you race, and for you fans that want to get into this, we got it all the way from the beginning to, just when you're starting out, and get the game and come race with us. If you're watching this broadcast, and someday you could race him.
Yeah, you can watch his back bumper get smaller and smaller and smaller as he drives away from you. I've seen it many times. It's not a pretty sight. But yeah, FSBRacing.com. Check it out. Go to the website. Click around. Check out all the stuff that's on there. It's a cool site. And yeah, sign up and see what you can do. Think you can beat Matt Watkins? Good luck. But the only way you can get a run at him is if you sign up.
Friday night, where are we at?
Well, let's check that, Milty. I can quickly get to the FSB site that I have.
Y'all can do this too. It's FSB.com. Get on the homepage. All the links there. Sign up.
Yeah, I'll scroll down here to the 88 Winston Cup Series that we'll be broadcasting next. And looking at the schedule, I see we will be at the original Dover.
Oh, God. You know what, Matt Watkins? I bet you Matt Watkins shows up.
Yeah, that's a track he likes, Milty. I know. And
wow.
Looking forward, Milty, to the Aero race on Friday. As we were talking about, Robert Bokum with a healthy 51-point lead, Milty, and almost sewing up the championship with 5 races remaining here. But Robert Bochum, just the class of the Aero 88 series this year, we can see not by winning, though, but 11 top 5s, Milty, and 14 starts.
I would say that guy's pretty smart and he's pretty talented. So
those are like, it kind of reminds me of Cale Yarborough almost, Milty.
Absolutely.
When Cale was on his game, he never finished outside the top 3. It seemed like, and Robert, man, 3 wins, 11 top 5, 14 starts, Milty, 14 top 10s. So I mean. It's money in the bank. It's money in the bank. MVP. I mean, if I went to Vegas right now, he would be what they call off the board, Milty. They wouldn't take any bets. But so the guys have their work cut out for them. Really, the points are scattered about. Some good battles, though. 3rd and 4th. Steve Webb and Derby Don battling for the 3rd spot. Sean Johnson enjoying a 19-point lead over Steve Webber in 3rd. So the guys have their work cut out for them in the Aero 88 series. Robert Bochum, just the class of the field. And, of course, again, Matt Watkins, defending champion of the Aero series, Milty, but electing not to run the full schedule.
Well, dude has to have a life too, and
Absolutely.
You also focus. And in this league, you want to race to compete. You got to focus on something.
And of course, Matt Watkins has earned the right to choose which races he wants to run in. He's run in every single series. He's dominated every single series he's run in. From beginning to end. So by no means does he need to feel the need to race in a night just for the sake of him showing up. We get huge fields on Friday nights. We'd love to see Matt Watkins because he just adds to the flavor. But of course, like you said, he has to have a life too, and that's number one.
Yeah, great driving elevates the competition, and heck, he's even won in prototype car, or he finished 2nd, I think, at Le Mans prototype car, Jaguar. So he can do it all.
Yeah, he's a jack of all trades and masters many. Maybe one night we can convince Milty to cram his tired, weary bones into a car and maybe do a little in-car reporting as we did earlier in the season. We'll see if Milty can feel rejuvenated maybe in these last 5 races to maybe throw himself in a car.
Well, just like the rest of these pros and these drivers, you want to show up, suit up and show up when you're prepared, and so we got some races left, so we're going to work on that.
We'll never know when Milty will show up and say, I feel good tonight. And that means Milty's going to run to the front. And he loves mixing it up, don't you, Milty?
Oh, yeah, definitely. 11 years doing this, and it's still so exciting and so fun. And fellowship, everything, friendship. If you go to FSB Live, you can see on TeamSpeak over there, all the guys are talking about the race and everything, and great deal.
Absolutely, Milty. So appreciate you joining me tonight. Missed you on the Pro Cup circuit, and glad you could make it back. And great race and great win by Matt Watkins, and we look forward to the next broadcast, as we said, Milty, Aero 88 series on Friday at Dover. Original Dover for the Aero 88, a rare original track stop for the Aero 88 series. Those guys are going to have to remember to keep those tires on the car at Dover, Milty.
Absolutely.
So we'll see you on Friday. Thanks, Milty.
Cool.
FSBRacing.com.